Alright, what is up guys? It is your boy The Fruit coming back to you with yet another video. In today's video, I actually want to talk about why I think the end game of this fight that is currently happening in 2B Vortex, that is of course Team 7 and the rest of the gang versus Ryu and Matsuri. I don't think things are going great for both sides. I mean, this is pretty much obvious. We see Ryu taking a hold of the sword that is imbued with the lodestone technique that Gaara and Shinki collabed in order to have a fighting chance against Ryu and his Iron Sand. And you also have on Konohamaru's side, things are not going great for him at all. Bro literally failed to bag the Haz. So, you know, it's not going great for my glorious king.
It's pretty difficult to put into words how disgusted I am, how depressed I am.
And that's why in today's video, I'm going to be talking about why I genuinely think that while things are really going bad for the both of these sides, and while we are still obviously anticipating the next chapter, maybe things could take a 180 for both sides. Who knows? Maybe Team Sarada and Konohamaru, who knows? Maybe they can actually start cooking and things will probably go smoother than we expected. But right now things are not looking great, and that's why in today's video I want to talk about why I think this fight is going to end up with Boruto or Kawaki, if not both Boruto and Kawaki, pulling up to the battlefield in order to beat Ryu and Matsuri. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. My name is The Fruit, and on this channel I do pretty much everything Boruto, manga, and anime related. So if you want to see more content like this, definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and definitely let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Do you think any of them will be pulling up to the fight? But with that said, let's get straight to the point. Let's get straight to the video. Let's go. Alright, so I think the best way to kind of just bring my point here is to look at both sides, since I did say that I think one of the characters, if not both of them, I could see either one of them pulling up to the fight in order to assist. Now, I think I'm going to start with Kawaki, because when I look at Kawaki, I just genuinely think that Kawaki hasn't been cooking a lot into the Vortex. If you look at Kawaki's introduction in part 1 of the story, Kawaki is one of those people that brought a lot of hype to the story, right? And that first fight that he had with Garo, one of the best animated fights in the anime, and also just like one of the best introductory fights for someone into the manga. And not just that, he's had a lot of his moments in part 1 of the show. You know, obviously when he teamed up with Boruto to fight against Boro when they were Team 7. And basically, if you read beyond the anime, you know that Kawaki had that fight with Boruto, one of the best fights in both anime and manga. And then obviously, continuation of the Code arc, we go to the Prophecy arc where Kawaki is just being a menace. And that's pretty much it. You know, once we get to 2B Vortex, he doesn't really cook that much. He had a standoff with Boruto where Boruto literally just washed him and put him off the brakes, to the point where now we have a point where Kawaki and Boruto have decided to team up in order to try and defeat the Shinju clones. And with Boruto pulling up to Kawaki, he told him that he needs to get stronger by any means, because the strength is going to be very vital in trying to take down the Shinju clones. And this is where we see in chapter 16, if not 17, definitely correct me on that, but in the previous chapters, we see Kawaki basically coming to Amado and saying, hey, I need you to make me as strong as possible. Do anything you want. You can do your voodoo shit. You can do all your magic and sorcery, whatever. I don't care. Make me strong. Obviously, a very interesting standoff between the two, as we learn a lot of things about how, you know, Kawaki, you know, his shutdown code and all that. But basically, the main point I'm bringing here is the fact that now that Kawaki hasn't really done anything that much in 2B Vortex, considering the fact that Boruto, in the first arc, which is Boruto's Return, that's the name of the arc, it's literally all about Boruto returning to the show, right? Boruto returning to the village after 3 years, and he's just cooking and he's showing how strong he is. Meanwhile, Kawaki hasn't gotten any chance to shine in the manga. And I think after more than a year of 2B Vortex, it's been like a year and a half now, I think we need to see Kawaki actually do something. And I think with these previous chapters where we're basically getting a build up on Kawaki's potential power up, and I think this could be the potential moment to actually see Kawaki pull up to the fight, maybe last minute, and help in defeating Ryu and Matsuri. And I could see Kawaki becoming so powerful to a point that this could actually happen. But it is very questionable if it's something that can happen in such a short amount of time, because I am going to assume that the events that have been taking place between Amado and Kawaki are happening at the same time in conjunction with what's happening right now with the battle against the Shinju clones. So again, this is exactly why I'm saying that things could definitely change as this fight goes on. But the reason why I decided to start with Kawaki is simply because of the fact that I think between the two characters, I think Kawaki could be a really good option to join the battle in this fight. So moving on to Boruto, I think this one is pretty obvious why Boruto would want to pull up to the fight. I mean, ever since this fight has started, Boruto has been consistently asking Kashin Koji if this team would be able to take out the Shinju clones. And obviously, while this, it's kind of a vague statement from Kashin Koji, who is basically telling him that, hey, if they're able to pull it off, we don't know if they'll be able to pull it off or not. It's a yes or no question. It's a yes or no answer. Or where, essentially Boruto is really worried and he would have liked to actually pull up to the fight and try to assist. And in my opinion, I think this would be a very good idea. I think, just like Boruto pulling up to the fight would be very easy. I think the arc would just end pretty fast. But see, here's the problem. And the problem is Jura. And we know that Jura is the strongest out of all of the Shinju clones. This one is just a fact. And so I think in terms of power scaling, obviously I'm not a power scaler, but in my opinion, I think even if you would love to just go a far stretch, a far mile and say, I don't think Boruto can defeat Ryu, or I don't think Boruto can defeat Matsuri on a 1v1 or like it's a 2v1, I think we can all argue that like Boruto would still have a harder time trying to fight Jura, because this is exactly how it went down in the first arc where obviously Himawari tried to fight and Jura just like packed her up even while she was in the Nine-Tail state. And then obviously we have Jura quite literally one-shotting Boruto in the air, and then bro just falls down. Next thing you know, when he wakes up, he's arrested, right? So I would say this is, obviously we all know this. Kashin Koji's literally been telling him, don't pull up to the fight, don't go there, because one, Jura is watching your every move. So if you pull up to the fight, he's gonna know you're in the hidden sand and he's just gonna teleport there and he's just gonna kill you for sure, because Boruto is already a big threat to the Shinju clones. The fact that he knows about the existence of the soul thorn barbs and he knows how to take them out, they're a threat. He's a threat to them, right? So obviously this is exactly why I put Boruto behind instead of Kawaki, simply because with Boruto, it's one of those things where, yeah, he can definitely pull up to the fight, but him pulling up to the fight is going to be more of a disadvantage than an advantage. Because if Boruto put up to the fight, especially since he is a massive asset to the team, when Jiro pulls up, all of that kind of just equals out and becomes even more of a liability to the team than more of like an asset. So I think we pretty much know about this. However, if both of them, Boruto and Kawaki, pulled up to the fight, I think it would pretty much still go the same way, where Jiro's probably going to still pull up to the fight. And I don't think they're going to be able to take out the Shinji clones, right? The plan is just going to fail. So this is why I'm saying, I think at the end of the day, we're going to have to see what happens, in the next chapter. Will Konohamaru be able to escape the bind that he's in with Matsuri? And how is Team 7 and the Hidden Sand going to respond to the fact that the sword with the lodestone technique, the lodestone sealing blade, how are they going to retrieve it, right? I don't think they're ever going to retrieve it, because now Ryu's like powering up on a different level. He spawned in the other Shinju clones, and it's like, so I don't know how it's going to end, right? We don't know how it's going to end. But at the end of the day, I genuinely see someone like Kawaki pulling up, because I think this could be a really great moment for Kawaki to actually start cooking up, because he's been on fraud watch. I'm not gonna lie. Put him in with Code, and yeah, no, these are the two frauds of the show. But I genuinely think that someone like Kawaki, if we can finally get that power up really soon, depending on how long this fight goes, I could see this going either way. But yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think Boruto or Kawaki going to pull up? Do you think they're not going to pull up? Definitely let me know what you guys think. But with that said, it's been a video for me to fruit, and I'll basically see you in another one. Peace.